So there's a few different ways that you can use the drawing tool in Keynote. These same ways also exist in Pages and Numbers, but today we're going to feature them in Keynote. The first way is the obvious way, which is to draw. So to get to the drawing tool, I'm going to hit the plus button, and I'm going to make sure that I'm on the Media tab. So we have Table, Chart, Shapes, and then the Media tab. And the second one from the bottom is Drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And now I'm in my drawing screen. I have my tools at the bottom of the screen and then my canvas in the middle. When a tool is selected, it's higher than the other tools. So when I tap on it, I get different options for line weight or opacity. I can also change the color by choosing the color wheel. So if I change the color of the marker, you'll notice that if I switch to the pencil, the color goes back to black. So you do have to change the color for each tool that you choose. So I'm just going to show you what some of the tools do if you were going to draw a picture. So the first thing that I might do is if I was going to draw a sun and I wanted to fill that circle in, I could switch to the fill tool, change my color to orange, and I can tap once inside of it and now I have a circle. The other thing I could do is if I didn't want to do it that way, I could just have the fill tool selected and I could draw a circle and it would automatically fill it. I can then, add whatever details I want to each picture. I can also change my weight of my line, so now you'll see it's going to draw a thicker line. And I can use the different tools to add different texture and effects to the picture. So there's the skinny line of the crayon, but if I change it to a thicker line, you'll see that there's a different texture there. You can also change the opacity. Let's say I didn't like where I drew one of those suns. I could change to the lasso tool and I can outline it. And now I can move that sun around to wherever I want. I can move this cloud to another position. And that's what the lasso tool does. The eraser is simply just an eraser. So it's just going to erase anything that you drew that you don't want anymore. So those are the different drawing tools, and that's basically how you would just draw a regular picture. So if I hit done, you'll notice that my drawing has become an image that can be moved around the page. If I tap it once, one of the cool features that you have in drawing is if I go to animate and I go to the build in, and I choose line draw, I can preview this and I hit play and it will show you that you can animate a drawing by showing the process in which you drew it. So that's the basic skills of drawing. Another way that you could use the drawing tool, and I'm going to use the brain here for an example, I'm going to go ahead and open my drawing tool again. Now this was a shape that existed in the shapes library, but maybe I want to use this shape to label different parts of the brain. So I could do that by coloring on top of the drawing or the shape itself and using it as a way to label or highlight different sections of the brain. So I can do the different zones and things like that. So you can color right on top of different shapes in whatever way that you like, so that you can use the shapes as a way to learn something. So I'm going to hit done. Now you are going to notice that my drawing is separate from the brain. So if I would like those two items to be linked, with one finger I'm going to tap and hold on my drawing, and with another finger I'm going to tap the brain. So now you're going to see that I have both things selected and I get this group option. So I'm going to hit group, and now when I move this around, this is all one piece. So that's another way that you can use the drawing tool. The last way that I'm going to show you is that you can actually trace an image. So I'm going to do something to this image though before I trace it. So if I select it and I make it a little bit bigger and I put it in the middle of my screen, I really just want that fish. So one of the cool things that you can do in Keynote is while the fish is selected, if I go to the paintbrush tab and I go to the image part in the middle, so I have style, image, arrange, if I go to image and I choose instant alpha, what this is going to do when I drag my finger across the background, it's going to select aspects of the background that I want to get rid of. So I'm just going to grab pieces of the background Now I just have my fish. And now that I just have the fish, if I go to the drawing tool, I can either color it, and I can draw around the head and color the fish in that way. Or I can take that fill tool and now I can trace the shape of the fish. And it will fill in any of the orange pieces. So then when you're done, you hit the done button. And now I can take my drawing and move it off of the fish. I can delete the fish in the background, and all I'm left with is the fish that I drew. So this is a great technique for your students that may not be confident drawers. They can trace any photo and then delete the photo behind it. You can also do the same thing for a text box.